What's up, guys? This is Travis with Freight. So we're here today with a demo of the one account you've been missing for managing your trucking company. So if you're here, you likely either found us on Facebook or got the link from the email that I sent out earlier this week. So our goal here at Freight is to allow you to take your time back and focus on what matters to you. At the end of the next 20 minutes, you'll have learned exactly how a Freight account can do that for you and how to get started today. So this is a live public demo. There's a couple of things that you should know first before we get started. If you have a question, you can type it into the chat box at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and I'll address them at the end. I'm also going to email a copy of the video to each of you once we're done here, and it's going to be publicly available on YouTube as well as on our website. So that's it with the administrative stuff. Let's just dive right in to what you came for. So Freight is one online account for managing and scheduling loads, paperwork, communicating with your drivers on the road, and sharing information with your shippers and brokers. At Freight, we don't think you should have to spend your days chasing down brokers, drivers, loads, paperwork, and load information. I think we can agree there are better ways that you can spend that time. In a perfect world, you'd spend your days on the phone with new customers, building more direct shipper relationships, recruiting drivers, adding trucks, and growing your business. The other stuff should just work, and that's what we do for you. So what we've done is addressed 4 of the key problem areas common to small trucking companies in one single account. So I'll talk about each problem briefly before jumping in to the actual Freight account and showing you how to use it. So the first problem we've addressed is managing and scheduling loads, giving you full visibility into your schedules, while Freight automatically searches over 60,000 loads for your empty trucks. You don't have to do anything. The second one is a big one, and that's communicating with your drivers while they're out on the road. We've eliminated the need for check calls, for status updates, and passing along information, and given the drivers the ability to send load paperwork straight to the office from the cab of their truck. The third problem we've addressed is sharing information with your customers, like load status, location, paperwork. We give them visibility into their load status and ETA, and giving you a leg up on the competition when talking with potential new customers. And lastly, Freight makes it easier to manage the piles of paperwork that you're keeping track of on a daily basis. With Freight, you have one place to store all your load documents and tie each one to the correct load. Using Freight, you'll be able to bill your customers immediately upon delivery, right from your account, so you can get paid faster. So now I'm going to walk you through the Freight account and show you exactly how you can use Freight to address each of these 4 problems. So let's log into Freight here and dive right in. So from www.fr8.guru, you can click the login button here at the top of the screen and enter your information. So that's my account. Once you enter your account, you'll see here at the top there are 4 tabs. There's dispatch, find loads, paperwork, and team. So we're going to start on the dispatch screen first. Once you've set up your loads and drivers in your Freight account, this is what you'll see. The top section makes up your entire load list right here, while the section below is the Freight visual schedule. This shows all your loads and drivers in one place. So it's so much easier than using paper, Microsoft Excel, a whiteboard, or some other way to manage your loads and trucks. So let's walk through the 3 killer features in this bottom section that you and your dispatcher should know about. So first is the visual schedule. This shows which loads are assigned to each driver, what's on time, what's going to be late, and when and where you'll have empty trucks. So you can see the drivers here on the left, and the days then here across the top. When you add a new load, it will automatically show up on your schedule here at the bottom. So each red, green, or gray box represents one load, and there's pickup and delivery windows on either end. So you can see this Mobile, Alabama to Pella, Iowa. Here's the pickup window, and here's the delivery window on either end. And then you can also see the ETA which is automatically calculated by Freight and adjusted to the right time zone. And it updates based on other factors like traffic and things like that. So when loads are on time, they're going to be green, and then when loads are late, they're going to be red. This way, and they turn red when Freight learns that the load is likely going to be late. So you'll know ahead of time before the load is actually late, so you can manage your customer relationship and make the necessary adjustments ahead of time to maintain a good relationship with your customers. So the next feature might be the best one, or the most exciting one, especially for your dispatchers. Freight is automatically searching its load board for available loads for all of your empty trucks, all the time. So you can see here the number of load matches. So this blue box represents an empty truck. This says here 151 load matches. So that means Freight has found 151 matching loads for this empty truck right now. So when you click this, you'll go straight to the matching loads on our load board. From here, if you see a load that works, basically you just call on it, add it to your schedule, Freight brings the loads to you. So you can see here 151 loads. First one, South Beloit to Green Bay. You can scroll through the list just like any load board and find something that you like, book it. So let's go back to the dispatch screen to see the last really cool feature that we have for you here. That's real-time truck tracking. Lets you see exactly where your trucks are at all times. So instead of calling your driver or guessing where they're at, you can simply open up one of your in-transit loads to see a map. Oh, that's a bad example. I'll show you here. So you can see a map of exactly where your truck is at, along with the ETA, load details, arrival, and delivery times. And you can also share this information directly with your customers. So we'll talk about that later, but it's a really awesome thing to reduce the time you're spending on check calls with shippers and brokers. So reduce the time spent managing and scheduling loads. We've got the Freight visual schedule. We have automatic load searching, as well as real-time tracking for all of your trucks. Now I'm going to show you how you can use Freight to make communicating with your drivers easier than ever. With Freight, you enter your load information once, and your drivers will see everything your dispatcher sees right on their phones, eliminating the back and forth phone calls and texts used to send them load information, routes, pickup numbers, addresses, and paperwork. So I'm going to actually open up the driver app here so you can see on my screen. There are two screens. The one on the right is what your dispatcher will see in the office. And then on the left is the actual mobile app that your driver is going to see in the truck. So we're going to start by adding a load to a driver's schedule so you can see exactly how this works, to see what both sides see at any given time. So in the office, let's say you've just booked a load. We're going to go ahead and add that load to your schedule and enter all the details for the load. So just make this load up. Let's say it's a flatbed load picking up here at my office in California today. So it's the 17th, about, let's say 11:30 pickup time. And so it automatically calculates a pickup window for you, or you can override that and enter the actual pickup window that you were assigned. And let's say it's going up to Eugene, Oregon. Okay. So you just put in all your load details, and this thing is going to be added to your schedule. So this trip is about, let's see, 600 miles, so it'll probably deliver tomorrow afternoon sometime. So let's say 4 o'clock tomorrow. You know, when you've got an actual load, your shipper or broker is going to, kind of tell you when the load needs to be picked up. But for this, we'll just make up some times at work. So you can also, once you've input all the details, you'll add the driver that the load is assigned to. You can also invite a new driver by clicking this button here, but for now we'll just add it to an existing driver on our account. So this load got all the details done. Right here in this section, you can actually add the contact information for the shipper, broker, consignee, so your driver can see all of that right from the app in the truck. So we'll skip over that for now. I'll show you this last section where you can actually add notes, special notes for your driver on routes, on delivery, pickup instructions, things like that. So let's say the delivery is a construction site and they want him to enter a specific gate. So we want to tell the driver that he can enter at gate 2 off of 11th Avenue in Eugene. So now your driver is going to get that notification right on his phone, so he'll know what to do when he arrives in Eugene. So let's add the load. So again, your driver can see all these details right from his phone: addresses, shipper, and broker contact information, pickup numbers, appointment times, notes, everything. So once the load's been assigned to the driver, he will see the load information on his phone. So let's open up the app and show you exactly how that works. Okay, so you can see at the bottom of the app there's 3 tabs. There's a schedule on the left, notifications in the center, and the driver profile on the far right. So we're going to go ahead and click the profile and see what the driver sees. So he'll get a notification once the dispatcher adds the load to his schedule that he's got a new load to pick up. So we can accept that notification and then go to the load details screen where he gets the rest of his information. So when it's time, the driver is going to proceed to the pickup location. When he arrives, he can update his status on the phone by clicking this Arrive button you see here near the top of the screen. So let's go ahead and click Arrived and see what happens. Asks him if he's arrived in San Francisco, and he has, so clicks yes. And let's actually open up the load details screen on the dispatcher side so we can see how this works in real time. So the driver's arrived, he clicks yes, updates on his end. What he sees is the next stop then, Eugene, Oregon, and then on the dispatcher side, the load gets updated to arrived at the appropriate time, and that's it. So this is going to save you a bunch of time for you and your customers on the phone calls back and forth for status updates and things like that. Finally, once the driver actually completes the load, so let's say he's picked up the load in San Francisco and he's arrived to Eugene, Oregon to deliver the load. So what he'll do then is he can select Arrived under the Eugene, Oregon address. So he clicks here, have you arrived? Yes, we've arrived in Eugene. And then it asks him if he's delivered the load yet. So for this demo, we'll just say that he has. Usually there will be some kind of time between the time of arrival and the actual emptying out of the truck. So let's click yes and see the driver's app gets updated, and so does the dispatcher screen. So it's pretty cool. There's no need to actually get on the phone with the driver and figure out when he's arrived, when he's empty, things like that. So now that he's completed the load, he can simply upload the bill of lading from the road, so you can bill it out immediately, getting you paid faster and reducing the headache for the driver of trying to get the paperwork back to the office. To do this, the driver has to go to his profile screen, so we'll click that. And then he needs to click Past Loads to see what loads he's completed that he can upload paperwork for. Okay, so the load's delivered, and we're going to click the San Francisco to Eugene, Oregon load. So that's the appropriate load. You can see there's the load details. And then here at the bottom, he can actually click this button, Bill of Lading, and this is where he will it's basically take a picture and send the bill of lading to the office. So I'll show you how that works. Capture the picture, looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and use that photo. So it'll take a second to upload on the driver's app, but then on the dispatcher's screen, he can go to paperwork, and that bill of lading shows up right here. So the driver's delivered 2 minutes ago. The paperwork is uploaded into the system in the office, and the dispatcher can bill this load out immediately upon delivery, rather than waiting for the driver to fax the paperwork back, send it by mail, or waiting until he gets into the office the next time to give you the paperwork. So to recap, using your freight account, it can be much easier to communicate and share information with your drivers while they're out on the road. This is going to make life so much easier and reduce the number of phone calls, faxes, and emails required to get your drivers where they need to be and get your loads billed out quickly. So we're going to go ahead and close out the driver app and go back to the dispatch screen where we'll run through a couple more really awesome features that are going to save you a bunch of time. So another common problem for trucking companies is communicating and sharing information with their customers, whether they're shippers or brokers. A lot of time is lost on phone calls just relaying information back and forth. And with freight, there's no need for that once you have all the load details entered here on the dispatcher screen. So sharing information with your customers is super easy. When you add a load, like the load that we just added here, the San Francisco, California to Eugene, Oregon, you can actually use this share button here at the top. So you click that, and you can share real-time tracking and load statuses with shipper, broker, consignee, or anybody else that you think should get that information. So let's say this is a broker load, but we want both the broker and the shipper to know where the load's at all times. So just enter their email addresses here, and you can send this information right off to those guys, giving them the information they need, and basically eliminating the need for all the check calls and the emails that you're using today. From the office, you can also email load paperwork directly to the shippers and brokers. So they've gotten their load status email so they can watch the load, watch the truck, where it's at throughout its entire journey, and get status updates on the load in real time. But then once the load's actually delivered, you can upload paperwork into your dispatch account and send it straight to the shipper or the broker to bill it out. So let's see here, let's use this same load as an example. So we've already got a bill of lading uploaded. As you know, you need bill of lading, invoice, and possibly a rate confirmation to bill out a load. So we're going to go ahead and add the invoice to the load and then bill it out. So you just select from this dropdown INV, which stands for invoice, and click upload. So once you've created the invoice, you can just go to wherever that's stored on your computer, select that document, and open it here. So that's going to upload into your freight account and give you the documents that you need to invoice to load. So once you've got the documents in here, you basically can click this send button to send it to the appropriate email address to get this thing billed out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and send the bill of lading first. So it's a broker load, so you would send the bill of lading invoice to the broker. So we'll send the bill of lading there. So they should have the bill of lading in the office. And now we'll send the invoice along with it. So now the broker has everything they need. You've billed out this load, and it was delivered 6 minutes ago in Eugene, Oregon. So this is going to speed up the cycle between delivering loads and you getting paid, which obviously everybody knows that's a huge battle and a huge benefit for small trucking companies. The other real benefit of this is, imagine going into your next meeting with a potential new customer knowing that you've got something to offer that they can't get from anyone else. Nobody is offering real-time map-based load tracking and status updates. This is going to help you land new customers and keep them happy with their decision to use you. So with Freight, your customers are kept in the loop and get the information they need without you doing anything. It just happens. So the last piece that I want to talk about is the managing paperwork. It's a big hassle, just a headache, right? We all know there's so much paperwork, it can be hard to keep track of. So we created a simple solution for this as well. let's go ahead and close out of this load and go to your paperwork tab here. So by going here, this is the one place for you to store and manage all your documents for every load that you've hauled. So you can see over here, there's a column for rate confirmation, bill of lading, proof of delivery, invoice, and then any other documents like scale tickets, permit receipts, things like that. Using Freight to store your paperwork, you can store all your load paperwork right here. You simply click this button and you upload the correct document, open it, and it attaches right to the appropriate load. So you'll also see which loads still need paperwork. So this turned red when the document was uploaded, and then you can see these remaining documents are still white. That means that there's not a document stored here for that load yet. So once the load's delivered, you can upload the bill of lading, the invoice, and things like that. So you know when you've got all the paperwork for each load. The other cool thing about this is it connects all your paperwork to the correct load. So unless you have a really good filing system, it can be hard sometimes to find, the invoice for load 17644785 or something like that. But here, all the paperwork is tied to the right load. So the benefits of this is that you'll never again need to scramble to find the paperwork you need, and you can send paperwork straight to your customer right from Freight, as we talked about before. Freight makes managing your paperwork a breeze. So we've covered a lot about what Freight can do for you, specifically how it will reduce the time you spend managing loads, communicating with drivers and customers, and managing all that paperwork. So now I want to address a few of the questions you've probably been thinking about, and that'll wrap this up. So the first question that we get is always pricing, right? Of course, you want to know what this thing is going to cost you. So the best part is most of what you saw today is completely free. We offer the main functionality for free to small carriers to give you time back to focus on what matters to you and your business. The way we make money is we offer additional features for a small monthly subscription. It's about the same amount you're paying for your load board. We want to help make you successful by using our free account, and then once you're successful, you can keep using the free account or decide it's worth it to bump up to one of the paid accounts and get some of the additional features. So another question that we get often is, what about the competition? Obviously, there are other companies that provide trucking software and things like that. So for us, there are really two types of competition. There are TMS software providers, and then there are freight brokers that basically offer some of the software that we just walked through today. So the TMS companies, you've probably heard of some of them, like McLeod, TMW, ITS Dispatch, Aljax, and many others. These guys are selling accounts for thousands of dollars every year, and they offer all of the features that basically any carrier could ever want. A lot of times once you get into the system, it can be pretty difficult to navigate because of that. So they're great companies, they offer really good product, but for a lot of our customers, it's kind of out of their budget, and it offers a lot of things that they don't really need. So we offer similar functionality and kind of the key features at a fraction of the cost. So the other group is interesting, and it includes companies like LoadSmart, Convoy, Transfix, other companies like that. They offer software similar to ours at similar prices, but they're actually also freight brokers. So they're really great companies run by good people, but I'm not sure about you, but I'm not sure how I would feel, how comfortable I would feel giving freight broker all the information that you're providing to us, like when and where your trucks will be empty, who your direct shippers are, things like that. So that's a decision that you'll have to make. So the final thing I want to address is you might be thinking about the hassle of you and your drivers learning how to use this software, but to address that, we've actually created a series of training videos that we'll make available so you can easily learn what you need to know and help your drivers learn how to use the Freight app to make your lives easier. And if that's not enough, we're always here to help, whether it's with learning how to use your Freight account or questions about getting started with us. So I know we've covered a lot here, but I think that you can see the value in what we provide and what it can do to make your business easier to manage and take your time back to actually focus on what matters to you, whether that's growing the business, spending more time with family, anything like that. So to get started today, all you have to do is go to our website. That's www.fr8.guru. There's a register button in the top right. You can click that and sign up for your free account today and start using Freight. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. My phone number here is 815-703-9039, and we're available anytime. So that does it for the demo today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you can get some value out of what we built for you. Take care.